This area, this is the pectoralis major. So this is the pectoralis major on the cat. And then up to this area right here is where you have the pectoralis minor. So in the cat, like the pectoralis minor takes up more space than the pectoralis major. And then if we look at the abdominal cavity here in the cat, this muscle on the side is the most external muscle of the abdomen. This is the external oblique. And then in the middle, and it's covered by connective tissue, this is where we would find the rectus abdominis muscles, okay? So behind the external oblique, we would have one called the internal oblique, and behind that we would have the transversus abdominis muscle. So let's look at the leg of the cat. So we're looking at the side of the cat leg. So this is lateral, so this is on the side. This large muscle here is called the biceps femoris. So this is the biceps femoris. And if I look on the inside of the cat leg, I have a muscle right here that is this one that I didn't really separate too well. This is the gracilis muscle. So this is on the inside, the gracilis muscle. And then a muscle that was here on the top. So this was the gracilis, and this muscle on the top, this is called the sartorius, right? So I had gracilis and sartorius on the inside. And then on the outside, I had the biceps femoris. So to look at muscles that are deeper, I cut away the sartorius, right? And I cut away the biceps femoris, and then I see some muscles. This muscle that's way down here, this one, and I cut it, is called the semitendinosus muscle, semitendinosus. And then superior to that one, this muscle is the semimembranosus. This muscle is called the adductor femoris, okay? Next, this muscle up here, this is called the, and I can, you can see where this muscle kind of is located. This muscle is the vastus lateralis muscle. And then we have this muscle over here so all of this is my vastus lateralis. You see my finger is under vastus lateralis. And then this one that my finger or the probe is on top, underneath, this is called the rectus femoris, okay, rectus femoris. And then on the side of that, this is my vastus medialis muscle, all right? And then I have, remember my gracilis, I'm gonna cut it from the knee, okay? So I'm gonna create like the flat, so these are blood vessels, right? So you see the blue and they're dyed in latex. Okay, so we were in my vastus lateralis. This one is my semitendinosus, and then this muscle, which is actually right here, this muscle. This muscle was my, I can see it on this side. This muscle was my adductor femoris. This is my adductor femoris. This was my semimembranosus, and this was my semitendinosus. Okay, let's go again over the muscles of the leg of the cat. From the outside, this is my biceps femoris. I open my biceps femoris. I have my semitendinosus, semimembranosus, and then we have the adductor femoris. This on the side right here, this is my vastus lateralis. Over here, this is my vastus medialis, rectus femoris, vastus medialis, okay? Adductor femoris, this muscle is the same one we see over here, the adductor femoris. And then we have our semimembranosus, and then under that, which was cut, my semitendinosus, okay? And then again, this muscle that was on top of all of this was my gracilis, and then on top of that, over here, on top of these muscles, on top of my my rectus femoris and my vastus lateralis over here, this was my sartorius muscle. This is the sartorius muscle. And then there's a little muscle right here. This muscle is called the tensor fasciae lata. This is the tensor fasciae lata, okay? If I go further down to the leg, this muscle over here, it's this muscle, and my probe is underneath it. This is cat's like. This muscle is the gastrocnemius muscle, and in back of that, this muscle over here is my soleus. So this is my soleus muscle. Okay, over here, this one is my tibialis anterior, and next to it, listen, that's my tibia. That's why this muscle right here is called the tibialis anterior. Okay, and then on this side, I have one called the extensor digitorum longus. Again, muscles of the leg. Gastrocnemius. This is part of the gastrocnemius. It's just cut it. Soleus, tibialis anterior, and if I move this aside, you can actually see the tibia. This is the bone. You see the bone? That's the tibia. And then on this side, I have the extensor digitorum longus. All right, so that is muscles of the leg. Let's move on to the arm. So in the arm, this right here is part of my triceps. This is the lateral head of the triceps, and then this is the medial head of the triceps, and this one back here, this is called, this is the long head of the triceps. So that's my triceps brachii. Over here, this muscle is called the brachialis. This is the brachialis muscle. This muscle that's attached to it is very thin. It's called the brachioradialis muscle. And then I have next to my brachialis, this muscle is my biceps brachii. And then in the forearm, on this side, I have a muscle right here. This one is the palmaris longus muscle. This is the palmaris longus. On this side, next to it, I have the a muscle that I'm gonna see, like this one is called the this is the flexor what is it, flexor carpi ulnaris, and then next to it, this muscle is called the extensor carpi ulnaris. Again, I have all of this, and this is my triceps brachii. This is my brachialis. This one is my biceps brachii. This is my brachialis, my palmaris longus, flexor carpi ulnaris, and next to it, my extensor carpi ulnaris. And then again, my pectoralis major, pectoralis minor, rectus abdominis, external oblique. And that's it.
All right.
Any